It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
Hello everyone, my name is Tyrone Lowe. The show is called The Legends. I want to thank everybody all over the world that actually accesses my show. And but the love you all give me, I just got to keep going. And without you guys, there won't be no legends. In the House of the Legends, now this guy's been around for a while. He wears a lot of hats. I read his bio. He's very interesting. And in the House of the Legends, I give you Q Moshyn. What's going on, dude?
Blessings,
What's happening?
Man. Thank you for having me.
All right, man.
Respect.
So let's talk about, let's take it way back, man.
Okay.
You know, when you actually said to yourself, well, you know what? I'm going to develop myself into an element of something that I'm going to have a passion for.
Sure.
So let's talk about that.
I think it's so appropriate because we're in the birthplace of hip hop right now.
Right.
And I have to go back to my earliest interaction with just the hip hop culture.
By all means.
You know, so when I was in, I'm dating myself right now, but respect to all the Gen Xers and the millennials out there. But there was a song by Run DMC called "You Talk Too Much."
Right.
And that was the song that I vividly could remember, and I would sing it around, and I just remember singing it in kindergarten, getting in trouble, getting on timeout, singing that to the teacher.
Really?
You talk too much.
So what influenced you on that song, man?
So I think, again, I didn't have the understanding to articulate it back then, but just understanding what it really meant. It's just hip hop just had just the attitude of defiance, just the attitude of being able to make your voice heard and just express yourself. So I didn't realize that's what I was doing way back then when I was 5 or 6 years old, and being able to just kind of harness that into other means of communicating with people. And that's really where I grew that love. I got in trouble for it because it was rebellious, but that is kind of the nature that hip hop brought into the music industry, and just said, by any means necessary, we are here, we're going to make our voices heard, you're going to respect us, you're going to see us. And that's really what I gravitated
thank you
to.
for the abrupt decision that you've actually grown from it, in a sense.
Sure.
I mean, everybody's not savvy to that sense of things that we hear in the beginning.
Sure.
But we actually, it grows it grows as a root.
Absolutely.
And then it just goes abroad.
It does.
And so, and from there, where did it take you? I mean, because you've done a lot of things. You've MTV,
Yes.
BET, things of that nature. But we're still going to take it back to the root.
I would say in terms of performance and everything, I always got to bring it back to the church, because my parents were ministers of music. They were in the choir. That was my earliest opportunity to, I guess, be in front of an audience. I was able to do spoken word and hip hop early on. At 11, I got to be chosen to perform for the Lorraine Hansberry tribute at the Jacob Javits Center.
All right,
So that's probably the largest audience up to that point in my life, just to represent other young people from Camden, New Jersey, and being in front of luminaries like Felissa Rashad, Joe Morton, Sidney Poitier, and them actually appreciating my voice and representing my people for a cause that is celebrating Black history and culture. That meant a lot to me, and I don't know if I knew what the magnitude of it was back then, but just thinking back on it, it's like, wow, I've really been blessed. So.
Well, that's a really good sense of accomplishment. I mean, look at the major contests of people that you're actually dealing with.
Sure.
But the first time that you did it, what were you feeling, man?
I was definitely nervous.
I know you was.
I was definitely
nervous. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
I'll just say I don't think that some of my peers thought I should have been the best person to do it.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean? Because I think my demeanor's even back then is pretty laid back. It's just like, oh, you need to be more rowdy, and it's just like that's not my demeanor.
Well,
but when those drums hit, it's just a different person.
It gives you a transformation of being who you are.
Absolutely.
Which is pretty cool, man. I don't feel that anybody should actually judge you as far as your demeanor and things of the way that you actually conduct yourself in a sense, especially in this thing called music.
Sure. Sure. I mean, and the thing is, the music gives you an opportunity to share whatever is on your mind unabashedly. You could be as abrasive as you need to be to get
Right.
your point across,
Right.
or you could just, just say it matter of factly and just chill. It just really depends on what message you're looking to communicate.
Okay. And so from there, let's talk about, before we get into your live performances and things of you being an artist and things of that nature, how did you land on things like MTV and BET as far as being a job function for you?
For sure. So, I'll go back to, my college days. I went to Brown University up in Providence, Rhode Island.
Okay.
Shout out to Kim Cooper King, who was the plug because she was working at BET, and she's the one that linked me up with the informational interview to speak to the folks in the PR and creative services department. So shout out to Marcy Polanco, shout out to Ola Kudu. Those were the folks that kind of put me on at BET at those times, and I was able to land the internship. So I was basically doing camera work, doing broadcast design, and those folks took me under their wing and mentored me in that department. So my biggest thing with that was, don't get starstruck. Just do your job, work hard, show up on time. Just be busy, be helpful, be coachable, and
Just be part of the team.
And that's really, again, I think that's what helped endear me to them, to want to even take me under their wing and mold me and make me a talented editor, show me what types of photography shots I needed to get, how to set up lights, how to do lavalier mics, and put that on different artists that were being interviewed. So just all of that that training that I was able to absorb, just put it out there, and it really opened up doors for me to bring in other skills that I had.
Okay. So let's talk about some of the artists that you ran through. I mean, as far as, I know you ran through quite a few of them. Let's name a few of them to the viewers.
So, I mean, from getting to mic up Snoop Dogg, and I'll just have a funny story about Snoop, because this was the era where, the CBD wasn't as embraced in the culture as it is now.
Right.
So I remember putting a lavalier pack in his pocket. He's like, wait, hold a minute, Matthew. You can't put that in that pocket. You got to put that in the other pocket. So, just having those kind of interactions, or seeing Exhibit. I'm like, oh, Exhibit, I got a Toyota Celica 1989. You help me? He's like, you better take it to Jiffy Lube. So it's just like I got to meet some great folks. Jadakiss. LL Cool J was amazing. Nelly, Ray J, Beyonce, Wendy Williams. So I just came across so many great people, and even some of the hosts on those different shows, whether it's Tigger or if it was AJ and Free, they were always very gracious. And even some of the newer hosts later on down the line, like Terrence J, Alicia Renee, Takara from America's Top Model, they all became hosts on BET, and they were always very gracious to me as well.
And that's good, because when you're dealing with a lot of celebrity types like I do, some people really misjudge them in the sense of because of them being in the limelight and things of that nature, man. And I try to let them know they're just common people, just like we are.
Sure.
You meet some that are cocky, though.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, this is an industry that pulls no punches. You definitely have to have a tough skin, especially now with social media, because everybody's going to pick apart everything from what you say, how you dress, and it's just a matter of just knowing who you are, what you represent, and everything that people say is not always going to come from a real place. Sometimes they just want to have something to say, and embrace what's positive, remove what's not.
So coming from that common denomination, if you had to go back to something to do it all over again, what would that be?
I think for me is just knowing how to vet who are the real people in the industry, right? You always hear about how cutthroat the game can be.
Well,
and
it is very.
So it's a matter of seeing who actually can bring about and make the results happen, not just talk. It's results, not just the hype. So who is actually not just looking for a money grab? Who is actually going to do the things that they say? Who's going to actually come through and put people together and make these different moves and actually help everybody, the collective, make money in a cooperative economic type sense.
You know, I feel that most celebrities, especially that I know, and I know plenty of them because I work with a lot of them, you know, in the sense of being in studios and places that I played at, and things of that nature, man. I feel that a lot of them should have some type of mentorship where they should actually be able to actually know how to conduct themselves, and things of that nature. Because you have people, when you become a celebrity, you become a person that symbolizes a whole lot of things about you, and the reflection that you give off a lot of people, that's what you're going to get back. Because they a lot of them they don't prolong themselves and project themselves to the point of I'm hot today. What's it going to be like tomorrow? What's it going to be like next year?
5
so
years,
if I don't like you, man, I ain't buying the CD, man.
Straight like that.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's what, you know, I'm part of, you know, Radio Pushers Network now, and some of the things
let's talk about that because that's very interesting.
Thank you for that. I mean, it's a branding agency, and we're essentially bridging the gap between, you know, what's mainstream in media and pop culture from, you know, those that might be considered underground up and coming artists, and we're bringing them together. Some of the things that I'm sharing to a lot of the up and coming artists is when you're growing your profile on social media, make a 5-minute friend. Be a real person to people. Oh, well, why do I have to do that if I'm running ads? They're going to see it anyway. Well, an ad doesn't communicate who you are to that person. It's the same way as if you're, you know, in Times Square passing out your CD, or when we used to do that. What's comparable to that now, you might be at a vendor table and you're passing out a business card with your QR code on it. Either way, that.
Well, you see how I approach it, right? I mean, that's the fundamentals of actually giving good introduction to your characteristics as far as a person, you know, is just as good as, you know, reaching out your hand to somebody else. And it shows professionalism.
And that's really what people need to be able to do on social media as well. You don't have to be a creep sliding into people's DMs. You can just talk to them and show yourself friendly, congratulate them on the milestones that they're obtaining in their lives, and people will appreciate that. Because if you ask somebody a question, just like you're talking to me right now, people like to talk about themselves. Why? Because they want to feel heard. They want to be seen. They want to feel appreciated. They want to feel somebody's trying to understand them. So if you approach people like that, whether it's in person like that or meeting new people on social media, it all goes hand in hand.
You know, that's an element of marketing strategies, man, where, you know, the least person that you actually bypass can be the biggest link to your career.
So true.
You never know.
So true.
I've worked in, well, now I couldn't say that I worked in, but before they were actually record pools, I used to have to go up to the record labels to pick up my records and things of that nature. And you pass people, and you know, if you don't do your work, you're not getting no product. So I used to go up to maybe Warner Brothers, maybe Elektra, Polydor, or work my way down from Tommy Boy. And I got an incident one time because, hey Tyrone, how you doing, man? I got your package right here. And the guy looked at me, and the guys looked at me, and he was like, why are you getting all this and I'm not getting all this? I said, I put the work in. I report to the stations. I play the records. I give the record labels their feedback sheets, and it's registered. So, and they looking at me. One guy had an attitude. I'm like, yo, man, it's not my fault. What am I supposed to do? You know.
But those are the things that, you know, sometimes people don't see all the groundwork behind the scenes. How you took the time to do all that extra homework so that you could open that door for yourself. And rather than just saying, hey, how'd you do that? Then, why you do that?
Some people just think that it's just a fundamental game as far as projecting yourself, but you got to put the work in.
That's straight like that.
You got to put the work in, because you got these executives looking at you. Well, Tyrone, I see that you got such and such in your top 25s and stuff like that, you know, and I see that it's doing extremely well. Let's double his package this week. So sometimes I used to be on the 4 train, man, like two or three crates of records, man, hoping that when I get to my train, I got somebody that can help me carry a crate. You know what I mean? But you know, things have changed since then. You know, technically. So let's talk about you as being an artist and what actually influenced you to be one.
So again, my parents were definitely that influence. I know my mom used to write poetry. My dad wrote his own music. He was in doo-wop groups back in the 60s.
Okay.
He actually was opening for different acts like Carlos Santana and the Isleys. He did some writing with Evelyn Champagne King
Okay.
with the Sound of Philadelphia. So he's kind of in that mix.
Okay.
And then my mom and my dad met in college doing a singing group, and they won their first contest together themselves.
Really? That's
and,
interesting.
To some ladies. So
Okay.
I just have that musical influence surrounding me, and they never shied away from or told me to put the pen down when they saw that I started to try to write my own music.
Right.
They embraced it.
Well, it was a genetically
So,
inclined. I mean, how can they actually, they created you.
And that's what I always appreciated, because, a lot of times people will kind of quench the artistry in a person and say, oh, you're just going to be a starving artist. How are you going to make it out here?
Right.
And rather than thinking about, well, what entrepreneurial things can an artist do to keep income coming in, especially now, like you had mentioned, the game has changed. People aren't necessarily buying physical copies of CDs and vinyl records unless they're collectors.
Yeah.
What other ways can you take your brand and make it marketable and even more so profitable? What products can you sell based on your brand? What affiliate marketing can you do for other brands that are looking to get their products and services in front of your target audience? How do you communicate with those people to let them know that you even have it? Or what analytics? So this goes back to what you were saying about the homework.
Right.
What analytics do you have to show that you are bankable for this brand, for that audience? And the more you're able to communicate and bring people together, that's how you can keep money flowing for yourself.
When I really look at it, it's like, if you're an artist, I don't think that the monetary thing should be part of your repertoire, due to the fact that you're just an artist.
Sure.
And just being an artist and keep being an artist and displaying yourself as an artist, that will come along.
Right.
Because, I know a lot of artists that actually made it, and then when the money came in,
blew it.
things of that nature, and you see them on the train. Where you going, man? I got to go to court.
Yeah, it's real.
You know what? I mean,
there's a lot of temptations.
It's a lot
out
of
here.
real out there, because all of a sudden now you forgot about day one when you were actually an artist that really wanted to do this.
The hunger.
So all of a sudden now you got $1 million, and all of a sudden now your whole demeanor changes, and you're buying this and you're buying that and you're buying this and you're buying that, but you're not concentrating on the next album. And if it doesn't sell, what happens?
Right. Like if you're not hot, what are you going to do? So I mean, I think there's two ways to kind of mitigate that. One, I would definitely recommend just getting as much financial literacy training as you possibly can, just something basic as just managing your budget and just being on top of what's coming in your bank account, what's not, who's being paid, when are you getting paid. That's a very important thing. Understanding your contracts and such. But then I think the other side of it is just massaging your audience, so you can survive those ebbs and flows of whatever new trends are happening in the industry. If you still keep feeding content to your core fan base, they're going to keep you alive despite those ebbs and flows in the industry. And I think that's how, the big names, like I had mentioned, LL Cool J, somebody that I aspire to as far as just his longevity. And he's been able to do that, and I'm on his mailing list. I get his text messages when he drops new videos, when he's doing Rock the Bells in my area. So like he's staying in touch with me as a consumer. He doesn't have to do that.
He's a very humble dude anyway.
He's amazing.
Very.
Like, that's
so
somebody
quickly,
I really
Q, tell the viewers, some of the upcoming things that you're going to be doing and things that they should know about. And let's make that brief.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely, if you're in the South Jersey area, come down to Willingboro, the All Natural Corner, because we're going to have the feature act with Drez from Black Sheep as going to be the headlining act, but we're celebrating the release of the This Is Jersey compilation project with Sunfire the Great, and it was also produced and engineered by Grammy Award-winning producer Yant Strickland. So I'm really grateful to be on that project. So yeah, that's a live event we would love people to come down and check out. And if you remember Black Sheep and Drez is going to tear it
Oh,
down.
yeah. Come on now.
If you don't want to see Commotion, come see Drez too. You know what I mean? For sure.
Well, you know what, man? It's been a pleasure, man. I mean, a pleasure to really converse with you, man, on these ethics of what's going on and what's going on with you and things of that nature. And, man, you have an extended invitation to always come back, man, and talk about some futuristic things.
Likewise, we have to get you on Radio Pushers now. So
well, hey, man,
make it happen.
Hey, listen, that's how God works, right?
That's right.
I want to tell you guys that I love the way that you guys really inspire us as far as what we do as being a host, artists, and things of that nature. And I want to tell you guys, I love you guys. So I want you guys to just keep on coming to the Legends, and I'll give you what I can give you, you know. And this has been another T-Lo video production. But before we end it, Moshyn's going to do a live performance on the show. So you guys stay tuned, man. And, hey, I see you guys later.
It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
We got some fun people in the house tonight.
My name is Gary Parker. I served as a Cavalry Scout and a military policeman in the United States Army for 20 years. When I was a Cavalry Scout, we had a young lieutenant that came in, great guy, but he moved on, got promoted to lieutenant colonel, went on to Afghanistan, and I was able to keep in contact. And I'd wake up one morning, go on social media, and there's that post you don't want to see. For whatever reason, he took his own life. Nobody knows why he did it. And if there's something that we could have done to prevent it from happening, safe gun storage can prevent gun suicide, because it's that added step to get to your firearm that might just give somebody a moment of reflection on what they're doing. As a veteran, we need to be ambassadors to people that don't have the knowledge that we have. Anytime you're not storing a weapon safely, you're putting yourself and your community at risk. Service never stops.
I felt accomplished after I got my diploma. Made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I don't know why they hate my skin. Be trying to alienate my kin, trying to elevate my skin, trying to celebrate my skin. We get sold out, or we get outsold, fiending for more clout, then we get outtrolled. We get sold out, or we get outsold. When it gets cold out, we get left out cold. My skin, if you love your skin, put your fist up. I need something to cover mine. I live in color, they saying they colorblind. It's something really been getting up under mine. I've been a brand that really isn't my design. Building something always getting undermined. Builders abandoned when it's really by design. Changing the color of the collar of the crime. How many times I gotta take one for the team, feasting and famine, living out my ancestors' dreams, trend set, mimic, passed off as their own, but will stretch limits. They're gonna have to atone. Looking, we will find. We walked among stars from escape routes to hidden figures. NASA gets to shine. Red carpets, big names of Hollywood and Vine. Star power, bloodline before and after time. But my skin, and I'm glad it's mine. If you love your skin, put your fist up. Need something to cover mine. I live in color, they saying they colorblind. It's something really been getting up under mine. Look at that crackpot sitting in the pews. Be out on crackpot and then be in the news. Is it rhythm, is it blues? Or did he get to choose to be posted up on TikTok to hit 1 million views? Making my skin crawl, just give me some ointment. Shea or cocoa butter, essential oil anointed. My divine appointment, it's hard to ever stop me. Never duplicated, losing carbon every copy. Losing in our contest, this bomb flex is turning Confederate force to black-owned studios and complexes in like Flint. But the world is still in crisis though. God is the virgin terror, your daughter is an ISIS show. But she the nicest though, cause she one of one. But my skin fist up and need something to cover mine. I live in color, they saying they colorblind. And something really been getting up under mine. Never forget what we saw. Done some amazing things, some done left in awe. Have to check the jaw, droopy lips on the block. Fentanyl's the extra pill that will punch a clock. I don't know what hurts more. Is it the withdrawal or addiction? Taking out everything you work for. The game's legendary. A shame that we worry about ops with my skin in the same cemetery. Get into the bag, but now you fit in the bag. Way too many toes get tagged, they getting flagged on my IG. Yo, my G, my skin got a whole lot of sacred under mine, lots of hatred under mine. Here comes another time my kin muffle the slaughtering. Like we shouldn't understand the origin of this business. New CEOs gotta honor contracts of old CEOs. You see these souls, you see these woes of a bunch of little babies in the future. We gotta ID those foes, cause they adore my skin. They adore my skin, but they tore my skin cause they abhorred my skin. Yet they be in Tanner boots wishing they wore my skin. A Javelito looking guy dying for my sin. Fight to preserve flags and statues of the Confederates. Run a critical race, a place to hide in the heritage. Imagine getting offended about jokes found on Netflix. Not being offended by ropes around the Netflix. Get into alignment with refinement, cause I've been on assignment and I know what divine meant. Come on, new jokes like Q's too woke, at least Q broke. This is critical thinking, so the joke was on you folks. Your brains could come through my storm, or my darkness where the roots grow and all of the butterflies form. We get sold out, or we get outsold. Fiending for more clout, then we get outsold. We get sold out, or we get outsold. When it gets cold out, we get left out cold. If you love yourself, hug yourself. Put a finger in the air, one love, y'all. Salute. We gonna party a little bit. What's a hood superhero spreading love, knowledge, power, and De Niro? What's a hood superhero? Let's go. Everybody call that you know I'm gonna live. When it's crunch time, and you know I'm gonna live. Got a nice package, and you know I'm gonna live. My word is my bond, and you know I'm gonna live. Come on, everybody call that you know I'm gonna live. When it's crunch time, and you know I'm gonna live. Got a nice package, and you know I'm gonna live. My word is my bond, and you know I'm gonna live. Hate, love, but I'm loving the hate. Even if my own fam doesn't relate. This community let me come through the gates, cause they get the first take when I come to debate. Nah, Stephen A, your mask element, telling them kick rocks to hell with them big shots to the railing. If you're bad for the gun, look how fast you will run. Face the capital punch, he's the back. I'm the one with it, I won't quit, I'm staying committed to staying independent of lanes who want to cater to image, the gamers, the gimmicks. Even our creators and mimics are breaking records, the limits. All that we saying again is like, hey, the one with the bag I am. Hey, the one in the flag that's spam, okay? Don't try to tag that man with the double F, fresh ripping swag for the fans. On your marks, get set, go. We winning. Drop them things that'll keep your head spinning like vertigo when you heard the flow. When your stereo first to blow your top off. Convertible, best in the show. Models pop any bubble buzz. Show me the ropes. Gotta hop in a double dutch. Now I got a late morning drive. We gon' make us way that shade 45. Everybody call good, you know I'm gonna live. When it's crunch time, and you know I'm gonna live. Got a nice package, you know I'm gonna live. My word is my bond, and you know I'm gonna live. Sing it. Everybody call good, you know I'm gonna live. When it's crunch time, and you know I'm gonna live. Come on, got a nice package, you know I'm gonna live. My word is my bond, and you know I'm gonna live. One more time, everybody call good, you know I'm gonna live. When it's crunch time, and you know I'm gonna live. Got a nice package, you know I'm gonna live. My word is my bond, and you know I'm gonna live. Everybody call good. When it's crunch time, and you know I'm gonna deliver. Got a nice package, and you know I'm gonna deliver. My word is my bond, and you know I'm gonna deliver. Yeah.
It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.